it's all about.
Okay, so Have a Heart is all about the rescue of equines, horses particularly, and then we do farm animals, donkeys, goats, sheep, cows, pigs.
Oh.
How long have we been running?
Yeah, how long have you been running?
Okay, so we've been running approximately 2 years now. Officially, it's just a year since we got our certificate, which is amazing. We've brought in on approximately 300 horses in the last 2 years.
And how do you find your people to adopt? How do they find you?
So all our marketing generally is done on Facebook via our Facebook page. There we have many people that come requesting certain types of horses, and we'll say, okay, we've got this or we don't, and if something comes in, I'll let you know. So it's really all through social media.
And tell me about the area you've got here, because I've seen the horses just have so much room.
So we're on 1,000 hectares of land donated to us by Mooi Uitzicht winery in Bonnievale. There's 3 sections to the farm, and we can split it up according to our needs. We have 300 hectares across the road. That area is about 400 hectares, which includes our borehole 3.5 kilometers down the road. And this section, our main section, is also about 300 hectares. Goes over the mountains, and the horses can roam free as they wish.
And tell me about the lease agreements that the horses go out on.
So each horse is sent out an adoption contract, which basically states that the horse needs to be cared for by the new owner, and that the horse may not be sold on. If they don't want the horse, if they can't look after the horse, if financial situations change, then the horse is returned to us. Little baby goat born last night. It's a little boy. His mom was a rescue, and his dad, well, we have no idea. Okay, so we have built shelters in strategic areas, mainly in the smaller camps. We've got shelters out in our bigger herd camps, which the horses, to be honest, never use. In our dam campsite, we've got massive trees, as well as 2 shelters where the horses are free to go and stand when they like. However, they would rather be standing in the dam or out. We often find them grazing and spending time. Shelly down, Shelly down, off, good girl.
About your funding, how have you managed to keep going for 2 years?
We do get some small donations that come in regularly monthly. However, generally majority is through our adoption, our regular adoptions.
And tell me about how the big studs help you out.
So we have a couple of really lovely stud farms that help us. They will, when they send us horses, they regularly send us food, medical supplies, anything that we might need. At any time I can call on them and say I need some bandages or some syringes, and they will very willingly supply those. Also, if I need any medical assistance and they happen to be nearby and I can't get a vet, they will quite often come out and assist, normally with foaling and things like that.
Okay, so this horse was rescued out from the other side of Springbok. It was basically found, another lady called us, was full of blood, and stab wounds and had been hit by a spade and burnt. I'd never seen this before. On my arrival, I was horrified. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It was burnt. You could smell the burnt flesh. You could see the pain in the horse's eyes. You could see that he just wanted to get out of there and be left alone. And they had him surrounded with a group of about 20 to 30 men. After a little bit of a confrontation and me standing my ground, finally got them to back off, and then we basically had to, I had to load this horse by myself. They were instructed no one was to help me because they didn't want the horse to go, obviously. We find this is one of the severe cases of abuse, but what we have done over the last 2 years in terms of abuse, I would put this on a scale of out of 5, a 10 out of 5, the way it's getting worse. I'm finding that the abuse level is going far worse than what it was when we first started.
Okay, so bush racing is basically in the communities where they will take the horses, any horse they can find or one of their horses, and they will race them against their friends for money.
Yeah.
And because the communities are so poor, to any form of money is always welcome. So they will use these horses, they will ride them in broken saddles, they will put wire in their mouths because they don't have the proper equipment to use. And then they will literally run these horses until they can't go anymore. Whether they're pregnant, whether they're thin, it doesn't matter. To them, horses must make them money, and they're treated more like livestock than they are as an actual equine.
And tell us about the grey hair.
It's horrendous.
Tell us about.
She came from a very, very sad background. She is one of the more abused bush racing cases that we have found. She came in incredibly thin. She had been raced 2 days before we brought her in. She couldn't walk, her legs were swollen, she was just in a dire state. A week after she arrived, she fell down, and we didn't even know that she was in fall. The fall, unfortunately, was too premature, so it didn't survive. But that is one of the many sad cases that we end up with here. It's terrible.
It's shocking.
No, it's sad.
Yeah.
But she's got a lovely home now, so
Yeah.
it's all
Okay. And in terms of the fundraising we're about to do here tonight for you, where will that money go?
That money we're looking at sending it into our education program, where we want to put together, we actually want to, and quietly, we want to write our own little book, specifically for children under the age of 7, as to caring for horses. Then we want to do an educational centre, where you can come in, you can meet the animals, you can interact with the goats and the sheep and the pigs and the horses and things like that. So we would like to get specialised fencing put in that's secure for the animals and the children whilst they're people here. So for us to expand further, we need to improve our fencing, number one. That's our big. We unfortunately don't have suitable fencing for horses currently, which we are upgrading, but our fencing is our big thing. Then our water situation is not ideal. We're currently pumping out the dam, but we're not going to have the dam for very long. Our borehole is 3.5 kilometers down the road, so we are looking to get piping for 3.5 kilometers so that we can pump from the borehole up into tanks here, so that we can have constant running water here. So that's going to be quite a big one, but it's something that in summer is going to be essential for us. Any assistance is always welcome. Donations, a monthly donation of even 50 Rand helps us with our day-to-day expenses. So any fundraising events such as this one are always a great income booster. They will assist with getting projects off the ground and ensuring that our facilities and our requirements are met for any future projects, or sort of our water situation and things like that, so that we can have a a regular ongoing water supply or regular income from our community projects or our educational programs and things like that.